Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, has just declared that poverty is sexist. I don't like talking about feminism that much anymore because it feels like beating a dead horse, but holy crap, this is the leader of a country. How can you be this stupid? How can you possibly assert this? Does anyone vet what this man says? His exact quote in a letter released yesterday morning was, "On behalf of the Government of Canada, I'm writing you back to let you know that I wholeheartedly agree poverty is sexist. Women and girls are less likely to get an education, more likely to be impoverished, and face greater risk of disease and poor health." Sweet Jesus. Poverty is not sexist, you idiot. It can literally impact anyone. And I get you're talking about around the world, but it still impacts everyone. If you weren't busy focusing on problems overseas and sending hundreds of millions of dollars out to other countries, maybe Trudeau would notice that 3/4 of our homeless population is male, or that the male population in Canada account for 74.3% of HIV, that men are more likely to get heart disease, cancer, and diabetes than women, or that they're falling behind in education at the moment, with the majority of recent graduates being women, and with around 60% of university admissions being women in recent years. Maybe, just maybe, look at the allegedly sexist poverty, lack of education, and disease in your own damn backyard. But Trudeau won't, because he is entirely focused on winning virtue-signaling cuck of the century. If you care so much about people thinking you're a good feminist, Trudeau, why not stop treating women with kid gloves? And if you care so much about Canadians as you claim, why not focus on them first? When you have poverty and homelessness in your own country, you fix that first, and then you help others. But helping young white males on the streets wouldn't fit Trudeau's virtue-signaling campaign that only women are victims. In fact, not even Canadian women are high enough on the victim ladder to get his help. He's kicking poor single mothers out of hotels with their kids to house government-subsidized refugees. It is just insane to me how this man can continue to make these ridiculous lies about putting Canadians first or being a feminist and have his actions display the exact opposite. This is a man who objectifies women based on the fact that they are women at every turn. It's the one thing he values about them. The 50% gender cabinet is one of the greatest displays of the bigotry of low expectations I have ever seen. There are so many achieved women of character in Canada right now, yet Trudeau decides to hire based on gender. And the women he has promoted are manifestly unqualified, but they have a vagina. So Trudeau sits there and looks at the ladies and says, "Oh wow, a woman doing the exact same thing that men do. We're so proud of her. Wow, minorities doing things, very impressive, pat pat." Then of course, while claiming to care about the issues of Canadian women and the destruction of sexism and homophobia, he proceeds to subsidize the mass importation of people from some of the most sexist and homophobic countries in the world. I'm not talking about catcalling sexist, I'm talking about stone a woman to death for the crime of being raped sexist, or throw a man off a roof for the crime of being gay homophobia. Trudeau would never set foot in a Toronto club that didn't allow women because that would be sexist segregation. Yet he loves all the segregated mosques that he makes sure to visit constantly. His favorite country is China, who are about 100 million women short because they have a policy of one child, which causes parents to drown their female babies. Trudeau ignores one of the largest rape and slavery crises women have worldwide, the masked rape and slavery of Yazidi girls in Iraq and Syria. He ignores Boko Haram. He sells arms to Saudi Arabia, one of the most oppressive regimes that imposes travel and employment bans on women. And all the while, he claims he's a feminist. And not only that, condemns others for their deplorable sexism in Canada. Wherever there's real crises of sexism, Trudeau is silent. And where there's none, he creates a false crisis. Poverty is not sexist, Trudeau, and handing out Canadians money left, right, and center to oppressive regimes or largely ineffective organizations for the sole purpose of virtue signaling is the furthest thing from helpful you could be. Thanks for watching. Don't miss my show Standoff by clicking here to become a member.